Give me iman and victory. Give me, Ya Allah, give me strength to set us free as we struggle on your path, Mujahideen. Grant us, Ya Allah, the eye to see your light and show us, Ya Allah, what is wrong and what is right as we walk along your path. Sirat al-Mustaqim, Sirat al-Mustaqim. Give me, Ya Allah, give me iman and victory. Give me, Ya Allah, give me strength to set us free as we struggle on your path, Mujahideen. Help us, Ya Allah, spread this blessed deen, and help us, Ya Allah, help the Muslimin, and help us, Ya Allah, overcome the mushrikeen. Give me, Ya Allah, give me iman and victory. Give me, Ya Allah, give me strength to set us free as we struggle on your path, Mujahideen. Make us, Ya Allah, fighters for your deen, and make us, Ya Allah, forever mu'mineen. And do this, Ya Allah, despite the kafirin. Give me, Ya Allah, give me iman and victory. Give me, Ya Allah, give me strength to set us free as we struggle on your path, Mujahideen. Give me, Ya Allah, give me iman and victory. Give me, Ya Allah, give me strength to set us free as we struggle on your path, Mujahideen.
Eidul Adha, the feast of sacrifice. The following animals are allowed to be sacrificed. The following animals are allowed to be sacrificed only. Assalamu alaikum. Today we're going to talk about Eidul Adha. Eid in itself is a word that means happiness. Adha means sacrifice. So it will be a day of sacrifice. Eidul Adha. This is the second Eid. The first one is Eidul Fitr, which is after the first day of Shawwal after the Ramadan, and this one is 10th day of Zil Hajj, the last month in the month of Ramadan, on the calendar of Ramadan. It's the last month, the 10th day of Zil Hajj is Eidul Adha. Eidul Adha, 10th day of Zil Hajj. On this day, Muslims all over the world sacrifice a lamb, goat, cow, or camel in the way of Allah. Why do Muslims sacrifice a lamb, goat, cow? In order to relive the practice of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. Let's look on number 2. Some of my students, they pose a question. While posing a question, they say, is that where Abraham cut up his son? That's not the way it's supposed to be. Let's look on number 2 on your page. Allah told Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam in his dreams to sacrifice something that he loved the most. He was not told to cut up anything, and he was not told to do whatever. It was left up to him. The decision was his. What is it that he wanted to give in the way of Allah that he liked most? So he was told like that 3 days in his dream. 3 nights. The same dream came. And Ibrahim alayhi salam kept thinking about it. What is it that he loves most? Let's look on number 3. It says, finally, Ibrahim alayhi salam decided to sacrifice his son, Ismail, in Allah's way because he loved his son the most. So once he decided, he told Ismail alayhi salam about it. He told him about the dream. And Ismail alayhi salam was the son that he had gotten like after long time. Like he was almost 80 years old, even more than that, when Allah gave him this son, and he used to love him too much. But even then, he decided, he said, that's what I want to go with. It was a very difficult decision for him. It's not that easy. And what happened when he told Ismail alayhi salam? He agreed. He didn't say, oh, you foolish man, or you crazy man, forget you. And he didn't run away either. He said, if that's what Allah's will is, let's go ahead and do it. Don't delay it. He did not stop his father for a second. And this piety and this sincerity that he had is what, because of which Allah made him the messenger after Ibrahim alayhi salam. Let's look on number 4 now. When Ibrahim alayhi salam tried to slaughter his son and he could not get the knife to work, Allah replaced Ismail alayhi salam by sending a lamb from heaven. When Ibrahim alayhi salam spoke to Ismail alayhi salam about slaughtering him in the way of Allah, he agreed. And in fact, it was Ismail alayhi salam who made the suggestions to his dad. He said, listen, why don't we do this? You tie a piece of cloth on your eyes for Ibrahim alayhi salam, and for himself, Ismail alayhi salam said, tie a piece of cloth on my mouth. Now why is that? So that when you try the knife on me, I don't want you to look at me, and when you look into my eyes, I don't want your hand to stop. I want you to go ahead and do it. And also, the son said, I want a piece of cloth on my mouth, so that when I see the knife, I will not cry out, and I won't even utter a single sound which may stop your hand from running that knife. When Ibrahim alayhi salam was taking his son towards the place where he was going to slaughter him, the shaitan, or the devil, stopped him at 3 different places. And every time Ibrahim alayhi salam told the shaitan to go away, don't get into his way and in Allah's way. So finally they got to the place. Ibrahim alayhi salam put Ismail alayhi salam on the ground, and the father, Ibrahim alayhi salam, tried to run the knife on his throat. It did not work. Allah was testing him. See, remember I told you before that Ibrahim alayhi salam was Allah's friend when I was discussing about the prophets of Islam. So he tried it once, it didn't work. He tried it again, it didn't work. And the 3rd time when he tried, it worked. No, Ismail was not cut. Allah had replaced him with a lamb from heaven. And Ismail alayhi salam was standing a little bit away from Ibrahim alayhi salam and smiling at his dad. This is how Allah repays the believers. Let's look on number 5. So what we do now? by sacrificing an animal, we relive the practice of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. He loved his son most. We sacrifice our money in the way of Allah. When we go out to buy a lamb or a goat or a cow or an animal for Eidul Adha, we are in fact sacrificing our money in the way of Allah because everyone loves the money the most. Number 6. When you sacrifice an animal in the way of Allah, you get the good points or the rewards equal to each hair on that animal. So the rewards or the points are equal to the numbers of hairs on that animal. Now it is not that easy to just go out, grab a goat, grab a cow and just cut it up and it's over with. It takes effort in order to get those rewards. So what do? You go out there, you make sure. If you look on number 7, it says that when choosing an animal, you must be very careful so that it is not too young. You don't want to sacrifice a baby. And it's not too old. You don't want to sacrifice a senior citizen either because you're going to have to eat the meat later. So what you make sure to look for an animal that does not have defects. It is not too old, doesn't have a horn that is broken, doesn't have an ear that is cut, and so forth. And it looks good. If it looks good to you, that is when you do it. What if the animal is blind? You don't want that. What if it's limping? You don't want that either. So you need to make sure that you pick out an animal that you like, because you're going to spend your money that you love. So you want to get an animal that you like, and then you sacrifice that in the way of Allah. Let's look on the last one, number 8. One must divide the meat into 3 equal shares. 3 equal shares. And use it accordingly. So how do you divide that into 3 shares? You do not take all the meat and leave it for yourself and take the bones and put it into the other 2. Or you keep the bones and give the meat to your friends and everybody? No. This is how it's supposed to be done. Equal amount of meat and bones. Number 1, you make 1 share for yourself. 1 for the friends and relatives. 1 for the poor people. You do not want to forget them. So we're talking about 3 shares. 1 for yourself, 1 for the friends and relatives, and 1 for the poor people. Eidul Adha, the sacrificing of the animal, you think it is about the meat? No. We eat meat all year long, all kinds of meat. But this action or this act of belief, it is not about meat. It is about the belief and the closeness to Allah that one does the sacrifice to relive the practice of Ibrahim alayhi salam and to think of the total submission to the will of Allah. This is Islam. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ. Assalamu alaikum.
The eyes to see your light and show us, Ya Allah, what is wrong and what is right as we walk along your path. Sirat al-Mustaqim, Sirat al-Mustaqim. Give me, Ya Allah, give me Iman and victory. Give me, Ya Allah, give me strength to set us free as we struggle on your path. Mujahideen. Help us, Ya Allah, spread this blessed deen, and help us, Ya Allah, help the Muslimin, and help us, Ya Allah, overcome the mushrikeen.